Guntank, Guntank, Guntank. Where do I even start with this character? If you've been on the channel for a while, you understand I don't really think that Guntank's a particularly good character. And if you're new, well, we're going to talk about it right now. And I'm going to talk about what changes I want for it. And I have one that I think is good and lore friendly and will make everybody happy. So we're going to talk about that now. Starting off, I do have to say that I hate just in general the concept of like a beginner character, because I think it's essentially pigeonholing a character into not having a true future and like competitive as a whole, just so that people can like, learn the game, I guess, when that's just not necessary. You can make characters that are aim friendly and good for people who don't have a lot of experience with FPS without making them like completely just a wash otherwise. So I don't like they do that, and I don't want that to be the case with Guntank permanently. So the problem with Guntank in general is that they designed a character without a true specialized skill. They made a character where part of it wants to be close, like its charge ability, and its projectile missile ability, and because it's easier to hit projectiles when you're close. And part of it kit wants to be far away, which is its primary fire, which has a really long fall off range, so you can be really far away and not fall off, which also makes it easier to hit multiple people at once. And then it just also has this random resurrection ability, which is good, kind of, but it's not as good as like other reses in the game, like GM Sniper's res, which is just objectively better because you don't have to do it yourself, you don't have to risk yourself, and the time it takes to travel with someone is longer, so the faster res doesn't even actually end up being faster than GM Sniper's. So the issue is essentially that it gets caught between not having any true strengths, and it ends up like this kind of like a ball of putty with no true specialness to it. Its ult's pretty good and it's special, but you don't get to use that very often. So those are the core issues with the character in general. So I have two solutions that I think you could realistically put into the game. I think something that would be an easy change and something that would be acceptable and, like I said, easy, so more realistic, right? But quite realistic is to increase the number of enemies that Guntank can lock onto from 3 that it currently is to 6. This would increase its potential as a mass enemy damager, but specifically something I would also like to see is I would like to see the damage scale based on how many enemies it can lock on, how many enemies it's currently aiming at. So if it's on 1, it's not doing that much damage. If it's on 2, it's doing a little bit more. 3, more and more and more, until if it's hitting everyone, it's actually like chunking them pretty heavy. So it's essentially like carrying around like one of the napalm bombs that like Ashimar has, but permanently, just applying it to a lot of people. So I think that'd be really cool, and it would be very, very satisfying. It would essentially be like having like a long range cleave damage that yeah, would be really, really cool. But obviously you guys be careful with the damage numbers, and you can't make it too powerful, but it'd be really, really cool in general. Because right now it can damage only 3 enemies, and even though it can lock on to 3 enemies with its non-scope down primary fire, it doesn't do a lot of damage like at all. I have a video, my Guntank guide. If you guys are interested in Guntank in general, you should check it out. But it I talk through a lot about how its damage output is more or less pretty pitiful in regard to even comparison to something like a Pale Rider. It's just not. It's just not good, guys. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people, when I make videos like this, they say to me, "Hey man, like I popped off though. Guntank is really, really good. You just don't know. You didn't play it." Well, I did play it. I played every character, and I put it like I put a healthy chunk on every character. And I honestly had fun playing Guntank. It was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it was fun for sure. I think the reason people thought it was good is because it was fun, and so it didn't feel bad to play. And also because the rank system was so unstratified because it was brand new. So if you had been playing for a little while and had some experience, you had a bunch of new people popping up and people that were not anywhere near your skill level who had yet to drop. So you were able to pub stomp people, and so you weren't having to compete against people your own skill level. So you were either getting beat a lot by certain people, which you would have had that happen to you on any character if they were a much better player than you, and if they were much worse, then they're still playing with you and you're just destroying them. And you're doing it on Guntank, so you think Guntank's good. I think people will see that a lot more when the game comes out. I hope you guys don't get upset about me saying this and thinking this, but I think just I want Guntank to be good. Okay, so we're on the same page. But the true solution that I really want them to do is to take away Guntank's aim down fire and give it a turn its missile ability into like a primary fire, essentially, so that it can shoot with into group with its regular damage, and then it can lob missiles into the enemies that explode and are projectiles and have like a pretty decent sized range on them, at a decent speed. So it's like a primary fire speed, not like one on an 8-second cooldown kind of thing. And I think it'll also be lore friendly, because that's the goal. The goal of this game is to take Gundam as a whole and put it into a team-based objective shooter, team-based objective hero shooter. And so we can grab the lore, fix the problem with Guntank, and turn it into a projectile character. So yeah, and the issue is if they don't do that, I don't really see a realistic way how Guntank ever finds a proper situation in any sort of meta. And when I'm saying meta, I don't just mean the meta, I just mean like viable characters in the game. And so I think you're gonna have a situation where a lot of people want to play Guntank and they're gonna get flamed for it, and they're not gonna be able to perform too well because their character's just holding them back. Meanwhile, if you add this sort of ability, you fill a lot of problems, you stick to the lore, and it'll be fun to lob missiles at people. It's already fun part of its kit, so why not just make it the primary fire? Looking for some more Gundam Evolution content? Then make sure to check out these 14 mobile suit guides I did. In them, I go over the abilities of the characters, the strengths and weaknesses, when to play them, and how to play them. I go really in depth, and I think the videos are really good, so you guys should go check them out. Thank you.